Father's punishment might be even more dire. "You lost your place at the university?" Father shrugged. "My students will still come to me." "If they can find you," said Mother, still that strange smile. "They'll find me. Or not," cried Father. "We'll eat or not. But we will get Vanya, Itzhak, out of this country so he grows up in a place where this mouth of his, this disrespect for everyone that doesn't measure up to his lofty standards, where they will call it creativity or cleverness or rock and roll." "Rock and roll is music," said Vanya. "Prokofiev is music. Stravinsky is music. Tchaikovsky and Borodin and Rimsky-Korsakov and even Rachmaninoff, they are music. Rock and roll is smart boys with no respect. You are rock and roll. All the trouble you get into at school, you will never get into university with this attitude. Why are you the only child in Russia who doesn't learn to bow his head to power?" Father had asked this question at least a dozen times before, and this time, as always, Vanya knew that his father was saying it more in pride than in consternation. Father liked the fact that Vanya spoke his mind. He encouraged it. So how did this become the reason for the family to declare itself Jewish and apply for a visa to Israel? "You make a decision without asking me, and it's my fault?" "I have to get you out of here. Let you grow up in a free land," said Father. "Israel is a land of war and terrorism," said Vanya. "They'll make me a soldier, and I'll have to shoot down Palestinians and burn their houses." "None of that propaganda is true," said Father. "And besides, it won't matter. I can promise you that you will never be a soldier of Israel." Vanya was scornful for a moment, until it dawned on him why Father was so certain he wouldn't be drafted into the Israeli military. "Once you get out of Russia, you aren't going to Israel at all." Father sighed. "What you don't know, you can't tell." There was a knock at the door. Mother went to answer. "Maybe here in Russia you aren't in class for a while," said Father. "And this nonsense of running, you'll never be world champion, that's for Africans. But your mind will be quick long after your legs slow down, and there are countries where you will be valued." "Which other countries?" asked Vanya. Mother was letting somebody into the apartment. "Maybe Germany, maybe England, Canada, maybe." "America," whispered Vanya. "How do I know? It depends where there's a university that wants an aging scholar of ancient Slavic literature." America. The enemy. The rival. The land of jeans and rock and roll, of crime and capitalism, of poverty and oppression, of hope and freedom. All kinds of stories about America, from rumor, from the government press. It was 1975, and the Vietnam War had ended only a few years ago. America had bloody hands. But through all the propaganda, the rivalry, the envy, one message was constant. America was the most important country on earth. And that's where Father wanted him to grow up. That's why Mother's Jewish relatives were suddenly the only ones who counted. They and Father's grandmother on his mother's side. To get them to America. For a moment, Vanya almost understood. Then Mother came back into the room. "He's here." "Who's here?" asked Vanya. Father and Mother looked at him blankly. "He's called a moil," said Mother finally. Then they explained what this old Jewish man was going to do to Vanya's penis. 10 seconds later, Vanya was down the stairs, out on the street, running for his life, running in despair. He was not going to let a man take hold of his member and cut bits of it off just so he could get on a plane and fly to the land of cowboys. By the time he came home, the moil was gone, and his parents said nothing about his abrupt departure. He took no false hope from this. In Vanya's family, silence had never meant surrender, only tactical retreat. Even without the moil, though, Vanya continued to take solace in running. Isolated at school, resentful at home, cut off from romping with his friends, he took to the streets.